City Clerk.
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Hughes Leslie. Present. Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Chris.
Present.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The invocation is James Gibson from Grace Chapel. You had me worried when I didn't see you on the...
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Just want to read from Scripture real quick. 1 Timothy 2 says, "First all, then I urge that supplication, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all who are in high positions, that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life, godly and dignified in every way. This is good, and it is pleasing in the sight of God our Savior, who desires all people to be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth." Let's pray. Dear Lord God, I just thank you for this evening. Lord, I thank you for just even today. Lord, I thank you for all these individuals in this room. Lord, it is no accident that you have placed them here. So Lord, I just pray that whatever takes place today, Lord, that wisdom and discretion is used, Lord. But above all, Lord, the only thing that you care about, Lord, is just Jesus being made known. So Lord, whatever decisions are made, I just pray that it is made out of wisdom. But mostly I pray that it's based on your Son and your glory, Lord. That is why we are here. Lord, we are here for you and for your glory. So Lord, I just pray that you just do exceedingly and abundantly more than we could ask and imagine here today. Lord, you are good, you are God, and we are yet your humble servants. So be with us now. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Want to do the pledge?
Sure, my pleasure. Everybody would turn, face the flag, put your right hand over your heart, and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ken. Oh, we're up, aren't we?
You gotta spin it, watch those wires.
So we have some good news for a change, right? What? What? You can hear me? The mic's working? Good. You know, 10 years ago, it was literally a 10-year effort. We were sitting around, and I had been mayor for 10 years. The county was, for 10 years, unable to give us a full command of sheriff deputies. They have for 20 years been operating with, I don't know how many deputies you needed that you didn't have, and they had to fill the gap. They filled the gap with overtime, they filled the gap in many different ways. But it was just not acceptable to us. And we begged, and we begged, and we begged some more, to no avail. So we thought, what if we started our own police department that assisted them, not to replace them, but to assist them, give us the manpower that the county was not giving us. It also enabled us to do things that had never been done before. You know, when you deal with the county of Los Angeles, it's like dealing with a country. It's so big, right? You have to, everything takes longer. Half of what you want happens because there's so many people that have to approve it. So it just kind of made sense that if we created a hybrid department to assist the sheriff's department, we could also use the technology we wanted to use. We didn't have to wait for 10 years while they test something. I mean, there's a lot of procedures we just don't have. We just do it, you know, we tend to be builders. And so what I actually did was I called a girlfriend from college when I was 19, and she had been a commander of LAPD. And so I said, how do we do this? So she put together some people, and we started. Imagine the approvals you got to get to have a police department. It takes a long time, but it also took a lot of planning. How do we merge it with the sheriff's department? A lot of questions, you know? And we also, along the way, decided if we had the technology on the street that we know is available, this could be a much safer city. So we proceeded. Took 10 years, but then we hired Rod. He hired deputies is what he did. Has he recruited you guys yet? He has. And so we now have the Lancaster Police Department with very experienced officers. I don't think we have a rookie on the team, do we? All of them have years and years of experience, which makes a huge difference. We also put technology out there that I don't think any other city has. They have pieces of it, but I don't think anybody has what we have. That's why in '23, we had the only city in America our size with 100% solve rate of the homicides. And we're still doing pretty well, but we missed one or two, didn't we? But no other city has that. The national average is 52%, and we're at 100%. And it works so well. They call Lancaster PD, and they actually did this twice in the last couple months. We had a murder at 20th and J at 3 a.m. Now, we don't open till 7, so they had to wait 4 hours. Within an hour, and that's all we had, that it happened at 20th and J. And within an hour or two, he was in custody. Because of the technology we've put out there, we were able to figure out who it was. We were able to track the car. The sheriff's department went and arrested him. Sure enough, there was the gun. Truly remarkable stuff happening. Do I have, oh, you gave me the clicker. Here I was in control the whole time. And I am incredibly proud to report to you that we've been up and running now almost a year. Crime has dropped 15%. But I want to be very clear, that could not have happened unless there was a seamless merge of the two departments. You know, it just works so, it's hard to articulate because it's never been done before. You know, some cities will have a police department, and when they get in over their head, they'll call the sheriff's department. But there is no city that has a department whose job is to support the deputies. And so far, it's just working out tremendously well. I'm sure you've all seen the number of police officers out there. That's going to continue to grow. What we've discovered is one way to drive crime down is to get real aggressive on traffic violations. So guys like me had better slow down. You know, they're going to be everywhere. You know, but the reason for it isn't just because it's a good idea to obey the speed limit. The reason for it is it drops crime. And we're using AI in that. Where crime, it's called crime coupling, it's called, where pockets of the city has high crime rates. It's not the whole city, it's pockets. Be very careful driving in those pockets. And we have a AI program that identifies where they should be every hour of the day. And that changes as the crime rates change. It's really the most revolutionary thing in law enforcement, I think, that's out there. And on top of that, you have the drones. The drones, when they hear a gunshot, will launch and be over that gunshot within 90 to 120 seconds throughout the city. We're also going to have the drones patrol the high crime areas. The purpose is to drive the crime someplace else. I don't care where it goes, just not in Lancaster. You know, I wish we could just make crime go away, but we're not. But we can make this city much, much safer than it is. And we're in the process. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I got to start by telling you, and I got to stop doing this because I'm really giving my age up, but it's been 37 years of doing this. And I got to start by saying I've worked all over Los Angeles County because I had the pride of working with those men and women back there and this gentleman, the sheriff's department. So I've worked all over the county, tons of cities, and never before have I worked in a city where the city, the citizens, the mayor, the council care so much about crime and support us unbelievably well. And I mean that. I wish I could take you to some of those other locations. It is amazing what we do here and how we go about things. This mayor is definitely willing to step forward and say, hey, we'll do whatever it takes to bring crime down. And he's supported fully by his partners up there. This vice mayor, with his boosters and just his gathering of this community is amazing. And I'm sure these men and women back here will tell you, you don't feel support like that everywhere as a law enforcement officer. I know my fellow officers back there from my department will tell you that. So I want to thank all of you for your continued support. So the mayor, he talked a lot about who we are, but this is a hybrid policing program. And he is correct. It's not being done anywhere else that I know of in this state and quite possibly in this nation. But I want you to understand it's more than that. It's more than just innovative. We're talking 2 police agencies that are dedicated to your public safety. Some of my officers actually coined an analogy of this, and I really think it was the best way put. They said, imagine the emergency room when you get ill and you go to the emergency room and they handle the big emergencies on the spot and handle it effectively. That's the men and women of our Lancaster Sheriff Station. We at the Lancaster Police Department are that primary care physician. So once they've knocked that emergency down, they're able to talk to us and we're able to look and say, you know what kind of medicine can we put into this thing so that it goes away and it stays away? And our partnership is really working, as you can see with that number up there. So it's working. And I want you to know that between these 2 agencies, our other public safety partners, the vast technologies that we've brought here, and I haven't seen it like this happen, not just as much, but as quickly to get these technologies in here, and the collaborations we're forming with our other public safety entities and our safety partners. I just want folks to know out there who choose to commit crime, we will catch up with you. We will. I have utmost confidence between the guys I've got, this incredible team that you're going to meet right here, and the rest of the men and women who work at that station. You do crime in this city, we're coming for you. You can believe that. So, but anyway, let me tell you a little bit about who we are in our department. So first is, I want to tell you, we have we have 2 primary teams that are working right now, and that's our SET team, our Special Enforcement team. That's Sergeant 6 officers. Our motors, we got a sergeant and 6 motor officers, and they are about focused operations. But I want to tell you, we're not done yet because this council has directed me to hire 14 more officers and 4 sergeants. So there is additional help coming to the city and additional efforts beyond what these 2 agencies are doing right now. This team, our Special Enforcement Operation team, has done over 40 operations over this past year in 2025, and they really didn't get going at it until probably around April or so. But so you know, they're targeting a multitude of operations, everything from sex trafficking, organized retail theft, illegal gambling locations, which are responsible for quite a bit of the violence in this city, crime suppressions in areas that we've identified, and yes, even illegal after-hours locations that trouble communities with continuous parties, as well as will put on illegal strip clubs. We have a multi-agency approach to what we're doing. So when I say bring that medicine, I mean it. We're bringing the Sheriff's Department, everybody from the Sheriff's Department, CHP, FBI, California Cannabis Control. We will even bring and have brought the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration and take a look at your books and whatever else we have to do to make the problem go away. Strong partnerships with probation and parole, and actually these guys one time brought out the Employment Development Department, and you don't want to know what kind of fines they put on you when you are not doing what you're supposed to do as a business. So, but that's what it's about. It's about bringing the resources to bear to shut these illegal locations down. Next is our I went past one. Next is our traffic enforcement operations, and those are our motors. As you can see, they put up some pretty good numbers, but I want you to also understand that that pretty much was 2 officers from September. We've hired 4 already. One just got certified, so he's now into it, as well as another officer will be going through certification. We're processing 2 more now, so expect those numbers to go up. And once again, multi-agency collaborations. You may have seen where we brought in, I can't remember the total number, but it was somewhere around 40 different motor officers to do an operation out here. So we're open to collaborating with whoever to address safety and traffic issues within our city. Wrong way, right. Next, I want to tell you about our Intelligence and Crime Center. So when I talk about bringing technologies and state-of-the-art, this is it right here. We got this up quickly, and it is a game changer. And you should understand that this city has over 500 cameras around our city. We are constantly, like the mayor just said, looking for new ways to affect public safety. That Intel Center is run by a couple of analysts and our community engagement coordinator. And amazingly, they've worked on 193 investigations in 2025, somehow had input into that. They are definitely Intel sharers, as they are connected to the National Intel Network. And just to kind of give you a list of agencies that have come over and said, hey, we want to work with you, or can you help us with this investigation? FBI, U.S. Marshals, of course, our brothers and sisters with the Sheriff's Department, LA County Fire Austin, CHP, Alcohol and Beverage Control, other police departments from up and down Southern California, and even the United States Air Force has come by and said, help us out. So they are tied in, and they are doing wonderful work. There's a couple examples of it up there that I'll tell you about really quickly. That one that says homicide case, that was a shooting that occurred few months ago, and basically there was no real information on it. And what happened was our intel analysts said, hey, let's take a look at our nearby cameras and see if we can see a car that is flying out of the area. And sure enough, they did. They saw that vehicle, did their magic, identified the vehicle, got it to the Sheriff's Department, and got the suspect in custody. That's without any information. That's working with our cameras and our intelligence. The next one down there is a robbery that occurred, and our friends from the Sheriff's Department came along and said, hey, we got a picture of what we think is the door. You see that little red circle? Well, that little piece in there is the door they gave us. And these awesome analysts went to work, identified the vehicle, got the information to the Sheriff's Department, and through their great investigations, those suspects were taken into custody. So this Intel Crime Center is, it is just a cut above. It makes things happen for us. Our drone operation, we have a state-of-the-art drone program, and that is absolutely a game changer, especially in a valley where air support can be difficult. As these deputies will tell you, there are many days when the wind does not allow the bird to come up. It does not allow the helicopter to come up. Well, we have 2 platforms. The first is our mobile drone system, which is a drone on a truck, and we can send that anywhere, and it allows us to get places rapidly, but also allows us to deploy with investigators, with detectives, with our LANCAP team when they're going to do an operation and get it up and get information to them, real-time intelligence, so they can see what they're walking into and what they're dealing with. And this next thing, our drone as a first responder. Now, this movie may take off immediately. Okay, no, it's going to wait for me. So, drone as a first responder, state-of-the-art, unbelievable system. We just got active October 29th. It flew 55 missions in 2025 and has already flown 62 missions in 2026, and I think that number increased over the past few days. This is basically where we looked at strategic areas around the city where we put drone pods, and drones can automatically lift off, as the mayor said, to a situation, and the pilot can get overhead in seconds. In fact, quite often it can beat the responding units so that we can get a look and get some real-time intelligence. But the other beauty of the drone is it's safety for our community, and it allows us to better assess situations, end them quicker, look at our footprint, whether we need to come down so we're not inconveniencing so many people, and just provide incredible safety to officers and the public. I think we've got a video. So those are phenomenal, and by the way, that's not my choice of music. My guys. But we're looking at deploying additional pods around our city so that we can have even better coverage. So. Our Special Investigations Unit, so those are, that's our civilian investigator, and it involves code enforcement and other things. So I want you to know we've done 96 illicit grow houses last year, and these are illegal indoor marijuana grows. Let me tell you that this is one of the things I hate the most, because you're talking about people buying a home in our valley, sometimes a big, beautiful two-story home, and filling the house with marijuana. That top picture is one of the illicit grows that we hit. In fact, the mayor went out with us on that one. And every room in the house looked like that. That is a master bedroom of a house. And they're not only putting out a product that can harm folks, but because it's unregulated and unlicensed, but it destroys the house. It destroys the house. There is a black mold that is thick all over the house, and they use illegal pesticides that can kill you. And once they do 2 or 3 of these grows and destroy this house and mess with the electricity and everything, they run down, get a couple guys, paint it, clean it, wipe the bathtub up where all those backwash from those grows is gone, and they sell it to you or your children. And they move in, and years from now, they develop some very ill disease. Well, we, through our special investigations, don't allow that to happen. We look at that owner, we try to work with them. Many times they are complicit and understand what's happening at their property, and we hold them to answer and make them tear out the entire interior of that home before they can sell it and redo it. And then we go in with inspectors and make sure it's done appropriately. The next photo is of one of the smoke shops that we hit. You may have saw that when we put that out, 36. Illegal smoke shops. We work closely with the vice mayor in doing that, and those places are something else, and they're affecting our children. We're staying on them. We have a moratorium to stop them from growing or adding any more shops, and we're working with our city attorney to come up with better statutes to deal with them. But out of that 36, we found violations at each one, including kratom, which is a substance that is 14 times stronger than morphine, and our children can go in there and get it. So, and marijuana in the shape of, or placed into candy bars that children would want. So we're staying on top of those places. And then the unlicensed care homes, at the direction of the mayor, last council meeting, we're actually working on an enforcement plan to deal with those. But as you can see, we hit 12 of them. And as he said, imagine spending your last days, our most vulnerable citizens, and you're not only being treated in a horrific manner, but your resources, your money, your funds are being drained illegally. Our homeless outreach team, this always starts with CORE, our community outreach, resource, and education, and us going out and doing engagement and trying to get the homeless to receive services. That is followed up by our homeless outreach team. These guys, I try to let them make a name up, and they come up with this hot thing, and I don't know. So anyway, but they do incredible work. I want you to know the county has a team. They have one team that is responsible for the whole county, and because of our great council, we now have 3 teams, 7 days coverage where we can get out and deal with homeless issues just for our city. As you can see, a lot of work being done by them last year, but I want you to really pay attention to what we're up against, which is if you look, out of all those contacts, nearly 3,500, 107 homeless people were receptive to receiving support. Out of that 107, we were able to confirm that only 72 actually took the support. So that's what we're up against. A group that wants to be out there, and our approach is changing with the police department. We believe in no matter where you're from, you have a duty to abide by our laws. And whether you're homeless or not, if you're violating laws, we are going to take you to jail. Being homeless is not a crime, but we're going to offer you services and try and give you a helping hand. But if you're not willing to take that and you're victimizing our community, we are going to deal with you like every other criminal in this city. And then I just wanted a moment to tell you about our community outreach. We do a ton of it with our partners at the Sheriff's Department. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I got to go back to traffic. I apologize, and I don't think he's in here. But we work closely with Deputy Kit Groupie, who is the Sheriff's Department motor. And our team is clicking well, and we are out there together making differences with the traffic. I can't leave Kit out, and I'm sure a bunch of you know him. But anyway, 50 neighborhood watch programs run by our community engagement coordinator. We've contacted 200 plus businesses regarding retail theft. We do a bunch of retail theft operations, and we've connected with a bunch of businesses. Our Fight Fentanyl campaign. We've actually contracted with Helper Foundation, which is an intervention program. Brother Stan Muhammad, who's not in here today, runs that program, and we've been doing instrumental work with them, trying to get into our schools and trying to get to our youth and get them to come down on some of the things that have bothered us. And then lastly, I want to tell you about our CHP driving grant. That's a grant we've gotten every year where we're educating thousands on driving under the influence of marijuana as well as alcohol, and especially when it comes to the youth. But, let me tell you, and Mr. Mayor, I apologize. I know I haven't got to tell you this, and council, but we were notified, I think a couple days ago, that our core team had applied for the California Community Violence Intervention and Prevention Grant, and we are one of 3 entities that received it. That's $2 million coming to this city. Coming to this city to work on intervention, as well as come up with more violence intervention efforts. And the one thing that I absolutely love about it is it allows us to get an officer to run a youth activities league. So we're going to be putting that together, working with the Sheriff's Department to give our kids another opportunity to get into different things. So it was just us, LA County, and LAPD that got that. No other entities within LA County received that grant. So John Keith back there with the core team. So I'm gonna give this over to my partner here. Love this man like a brother. And to borrow a phrase from the mayor, we just gotta keep swimming upstream. And we just gotta keep bringing more things till we get our city to the public safety point that we wanted. So, and your support is the biggest part of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rod. Thank you, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, and our council for really the support that you provided to Lancaster Station and myself. It's truly an honor to be here and lead a station of 225 sworn and another 60 professional staff. And, you know, I think we all know, we say it all the time, it's one of the busiest stations, or it is the busiest station in LA County. And our deputies go out there every day and work hard, and they work, as do our police officers from LPD. So it's great to see that effort combined from both departments working together. And I truly appreciate Rod. Just like he said, we're brothers. I share a middle name that's very similar to his. So I don't go by Rod, but it's very similar. But, you know, I've been here at Lancaster for over 2 years as captain. In 13 days, I will hit 27 years on the Sheriff's Department. So, and 24 of those years in patrol between Palmdale and Lancaster. So this community is important to me. This is my home. And I think we look at these numbers, and, you know, I have a lot of numbers that are gonna be on the board here, but it's about bringing that crime down in our community and making our community safer. And that's, I think, what we're all here to do, is work together. And we have leadership at the city that is very supportive of that, of us, with our mayor, our vice mayor, our AV boosters. They are extremely supportive of our deputies at the station. They provide so many resources to our LANCAP team. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about them in a minute too, because, you know, in part of my crime prevention strategy that I came up with in 2024 to 25, there were some things in our community that we needed to work on. And one of them was vehicle fatalities. Auto theft is a significant one that was impacting our community. It was impacting people's livelihoods, aggravated assaults, and petty thefts at our businesses. So we really pushed that strategy forward, and I put a lot on these deputies here sitting in front of me, their plate as our LANCAP team, and they took it in stride, and with all the combination of technology, which has been amazing, they've done a phenomenal job. And not just them, but, you know, the other 150-some deputies that work at the station that come every day to work. And the biggest part of that is a lot of them are part of our community too. They live here, so it's important to them. Almost 70% of our deputies live in the Antelope Valley, so it's very important to them what happens. It impacts our community. So I know these are a lot of numbers here, and I'll just kind of gloss over it because, as the mayor indicated, the biggest one is the 15% reduction in Part 1 crimes in Lancaster. Significantly, if you look at it, some of our key reductions, our vehicle thefts were down almost 40% across the board. Theft from vehicles, which is another thing, it's not specifically on there, but we kind of extracted that data because we were seeing an increase in vehicles that were being broken into in driveways, and those were down 37% in Lancaster. That's a phenomenal number to see that reduction. Aggravated assaults are reduced significantly, almost 9%. But when you look on top of that, bigger than that, is our gang-related shootings in 2025 were down 56%. That is phenomenal. And a lot of that is you look at the technology that's in place based on the support of our city and our city council, and that technology is helping to solve crimes. And now, I think more than ever, it's stopping crimes from occurring, and that's important. So one of our other biggest factors I indicated was homicides, or aggravated assaults that lead to homicide. Those are down 24% in 2025. That's phenomenal. And I know when you look at it, 18 murders in Lancaster is too many. That's 18 too many. But it's a severe reduction from what we had last year. And that, again, is that technology, that hard work, and that working together with LPD and all of our partner agencies here in the Valley. Another key significant issue we've seen in our success is, and that a lot of that is based to some of the support across the board by our community members who went and voted in Prop 36, voted in a new district attorney. Overdose deaths in LA County are down significantly. So that's an extreme benefit to our community members, and we're not seeing those fentanyl deaths across the board. Our traffic data, if you look here, we had 19 fatal traffic collisions. Again, that's 19 too many, but that's a reduction from 28 the year prior. So that's a significant decrease. We'll get into another big factor here is the number of DUI arrests, 464 for the year compared to 420 the year prior. So getting out there, being on the streets and arresting those impaired drivers, stopping them from causing those fatal crashes is important. Again, I wanted to talk about our team here. So LANCAP is a specialized team of what they are called our service area deputies. They are directly funded by the city of Lancaster, by the vision behind us here. And that team goes out and they supports deputies in investigations in the field, and they also target violent crime, auto theft, robbery, and any type of organized theft. And they could tell you, last year when I came to them, I changed some of their programs, and I said, I want LANCAP to take over auto theft investigations. So they were doing robberies in our town, and I pushed on them the auto theft because we needed to see a reduction in that from the year prior. They also use technology, which is huge, and a lot of that is supported by our city and our boosters. They work closely with the city of Lancaster, LPD, and many of our business partners, because part of their team is also a community relations deputy at the station who helps get out there and handle almost 200 community events that we handled at Lancaster Station last year. One other little factor that we kind of forget about, that we don't talk too much about, but LANCAP is really the Lancaster Community Appreciation Program. They also work with our high occupancy apartment complexes in town. And last year they did almost 360 apartment contacts with managers in our community. I wanted to talk a little bit about their stats because they did such a phenomenal job last year. 201 felony arrests, 100 misdemeanor arrests, 104 citations, 58 illegal firearms by that team there. 51 stolen vehicles recovered, 113 search warrants is what they did last year in our community. 75 focused crime suppression operations where they worked with our homicide bureau, our major crimes bureau, who handle high-level murder suspects who are wanted and high-level robberies. So they assisted major crimes, and our Operation Safe Streets, which is our gang enforcement unit for the county. And again, as I indicated, hundreds of property and apartment safety checks with the managers. They had 275 felony cases filed with prosecutors, expanded follow-up investigations on a lot of those crimes that are occurring in the field, specifically with robberies and with auto theft. And really, because of their staffing level that the city has provided us, they've really been allowed to complete those investigations, follow up, and solve those crimes, which have been leading to prosecutions. I wanted to get into one of the big arrests that they made this year, and this was on behalf of a mini bike, and we know the problems in our community with the mini bikes, and this was a mini bike carjacking spree that was occurring in Lancaster. So the team went out, conducted some investigation, identified 4 suspects, and ultimately, in August of last year, served a search warrant on a location. And phenomenal job when you hear these numbers. They recovered stolen mini bikes, 5 illegally possessed weapons, 17 pounds of methamphetamine, if you look there, 2 pounds of fentanyl. And I think we know how much with fentanyl and how potent it is, how many people that could have killed had it gotten in the wrong hands. 2 kilos of cocaine and 2 kilos of heroin. Here's another carjacking search warrant that led to the recovery of illegal narcotics and a firearm, as you see there. And these are just a few pictures just to show you some of their efforts this year. These were basically, one was a pedestrian stop where they identified a robbery suspect, stopped him, found him with that illegally possessed weapon with a drum that was carrying over 50 rounds of ammunition in it. And if you look there, you'll see another stop that they did on a vehicle that recovered another firearm used in a robbery. But in addition to the robbery, it led to a bunch of other narcotics recoveries. Here's another investigation on a robbery and the weapons that they recovered. So I didn't want to, they do so much hard work, but really I also wanted to thank those hardworking deputies that are out there every day, in addition to LANCAP, that are out there every day answering those calls for service. So last year in Lancaster, there was a reduction in calls for service. So in 2025, Lancaster deputies responded to 74,000 calls for service, which is about 7,000 call reduction. But in addition to, they had another 44,000 observations, we call it, which could be traffic stops and things of such, where they actually make the call themselves. It's for a total of over 118,000 calls and observations in 2025. But I think one of the biggest significant things here, Lancaster Station deputies recovered 585 firearms in 2025, and that was through patrol operations. That wasn't a gun buyback, there was nothing like that. This was just deputies on the streets, responding to calls or stopping cars. But when you break that down even further, firearms that were booked as evidence in a criminal offense, so illegally possessed, Lancaster recovered 368 guns. And you can look down the line, they're not really in order, but Palmdale recovered 318, Century Station 240, Compton Station 290, East LA 207, Lakewood Station 157, and South LA 265. So those deputies were out there every day recovering those firearms. And I know that is a big reason why our homicides are down this year, getting those guns off the street. And that's really important to give those accolades to those deputies that are out there. And again, a lot of that work, we have to look at it, is because of the technology that is in place by the city of Lancaster. From the flock cameras to the shot spotter technology, getting to those deputies, to those calls quicker, and getting to saving lives when they get on scene because of shot spotter. And again, I indicated there were some changes across the board, and that was based on, that was our community. That was us in the community that voted. Proposition 36, updated state law, increased consequences for repeat theft and drug offenses, including auto theft, which has significantly helped reduce those numbers of auto thefts occurring in our community. Increased felony filings where they're appropriate, and really greater accountability, both real and perceived, which is really supporting deterrence. So in ending here, again, want to thank our deputies. If I could have our LANCAP deputies stand up. Thank you, guys. So here we have 6 of the 11 members and 2 of our sergeants, but the team is made up of those 11 deputies, 1 community relations deputy, 2 sergeants, and 2 detectives. And they do a phenomenal job at our station, and thank you, guys.
Hey, Paul? Well, I'm assuming it's okay. I mean, I'm aware sometimes we don't want to take their picture, but if it's okay, let's bring them down and get a picture.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, good.
So thank you, everybody. And again, public safety is a shared effort, and we couldn't do it without our community. The community is what leads us, and if we didn't have the community support, we couldn't get our job done. So thank you.
You know, a thing we forget when we hear a number like 300 and some weapons recovered, they're taking a weapon away from a criminal. Their life is in danger when that happens. I mean, real danger. That is a huge thing to accomplish. And thank you. We know what you're doing. Coming down from where's Raj? Oh, you're already here.
One, two, three. One more for safety. One, two, three. Thank you.
One last thing, Mr. Mayor. I'm pretty sure that when the numbers come out for January, I'm going to be able to report to you an even more significant decrease than last year.
That is going to be huge. That's 20 to 50. That 20 to 15, that's a 35%. Nobody has that.
What?
Just confirming if council had any questions for us today.
I'm wondering if the audience has any questions.
Any questions from the audience? Yes, sir.
Rob, on the drones, do they deploy automatically, or is that deployed out of the?
So we're actually working on an application now that's going to allow them to deploy automatically to ShotSpotter, our LPR cameras, and even we're hoping to our body cameras for officers. So that's in the works. Yes, sir.
And follow up to that, you've got a budget to expand those?
So
Yes.
yeah, yes, we have.
Perfect.
Like that, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Mayor spoke about pockets. Where are the pockets located so that we can be aware, as individuals?
Thank you.
Be aware of what's happening around us and
Well, you know what I would suggest, and definitely, Fran, unfortunately, we don't have the slide with us, but we have a criminal justice commission that the council put together, and that meets every month actually, it's this Wednesday, and the Sheriff's Department does a complete report that actually shows those pockets and areas. It's at 10 o'clock, and we encourage community to come to that, so.
can I get a copy because I can't come to that meeting that day.
Yeah, I'll work with you. I'll talk to you later. Yes.
I don't know if this is a question for the council. I'm sure you guys would, but for those of us, I was just teasing with a fellow resident that you usually know if you're in pocket because you see what's going on. My church is in a pocket. And so for those of us in small businesses, or if we wanted to volunteer as a base camp for a drone, could that be something that could be given out? Like, we had parking lots and we wanted you guys to, kind of how they do in New York.
The problem with that is we have to keep it secret. We don't want to let people know where they are because you have problems with people stealing them. I mean, they're really expensive.
What if they're in secure areas within, like if it's gated off or something like that? And
I don't know, Rod makes those decisions, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is absolutely correct. And then it's something we can take a look at. The other thing we do have to look at, though, is airspace and considering being able to lift off from that point. So, but actually, my drone manager is here, Tim in the back, and feel free, sir, to have a conversation with him. Any questions from council? Okay.
I have a question. First, I want to just say thank you to both departments for what you've done. Just the numbers speak for themselves. And then my question for the two of you gentlemen, and we don't have to answer it on the spot, is what can we as individual residents be doing to support you? So is that coming to the criminal justice meetings? Is that reporting things a specific way? Is that just making sure our four walls are straight?
You know, I would say just report. And I know there's always concern that maybe people are not reporting crimes right now, but I kind of disagree. I believe that people are reporting. You know, you may see some incidents, maybe, you know, concerns of people not reporting certain crimes, maybe domestic violence. But I think when you look at the numbers of auto theft, I always use this analogy, that if somebody has their car stolen, it's their livelihood, and they're gonna report that car stolen. So the fact that we're down so much, I don't think it's a lack of reporting. I think it's crime is down, and I think it's because of everything that's in place in Lancaster with the technology and, you know, the hard work of the officers and the deputies.
And then I'll just add a couple more things. Neighborhood watch. Neighborhood watch is huge, and I don't understand why more people don't do it. It doesn't cost you anything, and there's other benefits to it. So please reach out so that we can start a program in your neighborhood. And then Councilwoman Hughes Leslie hit the nail on the head. we have a criminal justice commission here, and I've worked several cities, like I said, and I didn't see that in other cities. And that is a chance for you to come and voice not just your concerns, but what you think about how we're doing what we're doing. So I would absolutely encourage everybody to attend those.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, I'm going to have our Sergeant Robert Jensen just give, we have some emails that if the community wants to email our community relations team, any questions you have, you can email them, and they'll answer any questions you have, definitely.
Council, Mayor, Vice Mayor. Yeah, absolutely. We welcome all the community feedback from everybody across the board. Our email directly for our team is going to be LAN, L-A-N, communityrelations@lasd.org. And if that's too much to remember, you can just do Lancaster@lasd.org, and that'll come straight to our office. We'll be able to kind of filter through that. But yeah, as they said, please continue reporting. That's our biggest help.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marissa, it's your turn.
Mayor and Council, I'm actually going to call up our Assistant Director for Public Works and City Engineer, Nicholas Godin.
Good afternoon, Mayor Paris and members of council. Going to be hard to follow Chief's amazing work that he does, but we'll do our best. Again, my name is Nick Godin. I am the City Engineer and Assistant Director of Public Works. We have a presentation for you today regarding the city's recent award from the Southern California chapter of the American Public Works Association to our municipal stadium project for best recreational and athletic facility. I'm pleased to introduce Stephen Anderson. He's a board of director for the Southern California chapter of APWA, who will tell us a little bit more about the awards process and present council with our award.
Thank you. Good afternoon, council. My name is Stephen Anderson. As the assistant director said, I'm a director for the American Public Works Association. I'm also a civil engineer with the firm Kimley Horn that does work with the city of Lancaster. One of the keynote things that I do every year is I am the chair for the Public Works, Southern Public Works Expo Conference in mid-April, which several of the staff here attend. And I encourage to add more attendance because we're going to add a second day this year where we're going to have an operation and maintenance for your O&M staff to kind of help out with some certifications, learn about the watch manual, et cetera. So with that, to the award itself, just to let you know that the Building Excellence Shaping Tomorrow Awards, the best award, started in 2000. It's from our APWA SoCal chapter. It's one of the biggest chapters in the country. It encompasses LA County, Orange County, and in the Inland Empire. This year we had nothing short of an extraordinary year with 23 reviewers, all seasoned public works officials, looking at over 200 projects from over 75 municipalities. So the level of competition, innovation, and collaboration was really high this year. And so to be selected among such a remarkable work is a testament to your team's dedication, ingenuity, and service to your community. Your agency should be extremely proud of this recognition and the positive impact your project has made. So congratulations again on this well-deserved honor. The city submitted for the Recreation and Athletics Facility category for populations 100 to 200,000. And so we celebrated Lancaster's amazing achievement this year with 2 representatives from Lancaster joined us on the stage to accept the award and capture the moment. So a well-deserved spotlight for your outstanding work. So we hope your team will display your award plaque proudly as a lasting reminder of the milestone and positive impact you've made on this community. All photos can be on our website. So a little bit about the Municipal Stadium Improvement Project. So the project involved the transformation of a minor league baseball stadium, the former home of the Lancaster Jethawks, and converting it into a 5,300-seat soccer stadium. It's the result of public-private partnerships between the city, United Soccer League, and Antelope Valley Soccer to grow the area's sports offering. The stadium renovation offers locals an entertainment venue where they can go and cheer on their soccer team and enjoy a heartwarming sense of community and camaraderie. So congratulations to the city.
Thank you. That's right. We did all of that with the community workforce agreement, working with labor. It, I mean, there's a reason we're the most friendly city towards labor. They do such a magnificent job, for what it's worth.
Raj, get in there. They're going to do it against the wall?
Yeah. Good gentlemen, center forward, please, thank you.
Nick, get in there.
One, two, three. Another, one, two, three. Thank you.
An update on Destination Lancaster.
Miss number 3.
What? Oh, did I, oh. You know, if I had graduated from high school, I'd know how to count. Number 3, Team Up Lancaster Commitment, Completion, and Renewal.
Gotta go up, give me a second. Tall guy problems.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council. Hey, this is a tough act to follow. You got Chief's good news. That guy brought you an award. I don't have anything like that, so bear with me. Today we're here to recognize Community Development Center USA.
What do you mean?
Next meeting, I promise. Today we're here to recognize Community Development Center USA for
I mean, 2 years ago, I think on my calendar, on average, I probably had 5 to maybe 10 events on my calendar. Now I probably have at least 60 events on my calendar. I have all of MOA on there. I have LPAC on there. I have something that goes on at Buckles and Boots, something that goes on at AV Winery. So it pulls all this out of the internet and brings it to me. But talking to Robert, I told him how to make sure that he gets that information to me easily. If he makes an event on Facebook, my AI will pick it up and bring it to me, and then I'll publish it. So I'm out there and I'm talking, I mean, every restaurant in our guide I've been to before this one came out. I go to every single restaurant. I make sure that they're up to snuff. I make sure that they're clean, that the service is there, the food quality is there. So everyone that's in there, either myself or my team, has been to that restaurant personally and made sure it's okay. So, yeah, we do reach out, though. We try to reach out, and our social media constantly is looking at other feeds and other people's posts and Instagram. We follow a lot of Instagrams of other businesses, and then we reshare what they put up. So yes, absolutely. Great.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
So we have some public announcements to play. And then I think I'm going to give you guys a break. What do you think? Somebody said that I run these without a break too long.
We're on the consent calendar.
No, we're.
Have your attention, please. Welcome to the Lancaster City Council meeting. The City Council encourages public participation at its meetings. However, the right of the public to address the council must be balanced with the need to ensure that public participation does not interfere with the orderly course of public business. The City Council follows the city's Code of Conduct and Ethics and Robert's Rules of Order in the conduct of its meetings, and we respectfully request that all are reminded to abide by the following rules. As stated on the agenda for this meeting, any person who would like to address the city is requested to complete a speaker card for the city clerk. Please be sure to identify the agenda item you would like to discuss on your speaker card. Speaker cards must be filled out and submitted prior to the agenda item being called. You will be given an opportunity to address the council at the time the agenda item is discussed. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes unless a different time limit is announced. Speakers must cease speaking immediately when their time has ended. Public comment on agenda items must relate to the subject matter of that item. Public comment on non-agendized items is limited to subjects within the jurisdiction of the council. Please keep in mind that state law prohibits the council from acting on items that are not on the agenda. The public's right to address the council does not include the right to engage in a dialogue with individual council members or staff. Please remain respectful of the forum and refrain from uttering, writing, or displaying profane or threatening statements towards the council, any member thereof, staff, or any other person. Any person engaging in conduct that disrupts the meeting is subject to being removed from the council meeting. If you disrupt the meeting, you will receive 1 warning. If you continue to disrupt the meeting, you will be escorted out of the meeting or the meeting will be recessed. Upon reconvening, if disruptions continue, the meeting room will be cleared in accordance with the provisions of the Brown Act. We ask that you now silence your cell phones as the meeting is about to begin. Thank you for your participation.
Much better voicing of that. Thank you. Consent calendar, anything to be removed?
CC7, you were going to recuse yourself on.
That's correct. Is there a motion to approve the consent, well, is there any speaker cards?
No speaker cards. Motion to approve the consent calendar, pulling CC7 as currently comprised.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. Well, it's unanimous approved.
Approved unanimously.
And I am recusing myself because of a conflict on 7.
Okay.
What?
A true conflict or just appearance of impropriety?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I think what you're saying is you want to avoid the appearance of impropriety and therefore you're recusing yourself. I thought so. Okay, thanks.
Need a motion and a second for CC7?
I move to approve CC7.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Aye. And I messed up the thing.
Yes.
We're doing great with technology today.
Yeah. Perhaps we ought to use AI.
Okay, let's take the break. 10 minutes, be back. We're going to start right at 10 minutes. Get a break.
Hey, Mark, that was much better than last time.
Much better. It was well done.
Right.
Bring lots of cheerleaders.
I know, I was just saying, you just dropped the cheerleading.
Yes.
Didn't we have an objection to this?
I don't think so on this one. I think it's on PH 2.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think.
All right, let's waive the staff report. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve PH1, introduce resolution 26-05, 1A, B, C, and 2, ordinance 1147.
Wait a minute, I got to close the public hearing.
I was just asking if you had closed the public hearing because I was
Okay.
busy talking to the city manager.
And Marvin has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously with Mr. Molly being absent. PH2, the public hearing is now open. And we do have cards on this one, right?
Actually, as it turns out, the information I was getting was that we were expecting someone to show up with a card, but I don't think we actually got one, did we?
I did find it in the
Oh, there was one in the non, okay.
Chuck Frick?
That's me. As you guys already voted in favor of yes for
Well,
PH1.
you know, you got to wait till you get to the microphone.
Oh, well, thank you, sorry.
I can't hear you.
I'm advocating for support of PH1. You guys have already voted, but yeah, I'm in favor of it. I'm excited for more housing. I'm excited for better land use. I'm excited for additional public safety in those lots. I live in Gadsden Avenue, and having more people living back there really helps limit the growth of encampments and people who aren't quite there in that area. It also makes it easier for me to walk my dog in the evening, and I don't have to think about daylight savings time.
I'm sorry, I thought you were somebody else.
Yeah.
I thought you were these predatory law firms, but you're not.
No, but thank you. Thank you, sorry.
Good,
All right.
thank you. That is going to be an amazing development. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it to happen.
I'm excited about it.
You want to close the public hearing again?
We're having a conversation, Marvin. Don't interrupt us.
You're welcome to close if so
We'll
be
cl-
it. So thank you.
Thanks. So do we have any speaker cards on PH2?
I think we should revote.
Do we need to revote?
You certainly can revote on PH1, as that was what he was intending to speak on, and you've now heard from him. And we can revote on PH1 if that is your pleasure.
I'd like to introduce resolution 26-05, 1A, B, and C, and 2, introduce ordinance 1147.
And I will second that motion.
And let's vote. Again, passes unanimously. All right, PH2, public hearing is now open. Any speaker cards?
No speaker cards on PH2.
Let's waive the staff report. The public hearing is now closed.
We will need to count the ballots. We have several ballots to count, not very many, but we'll need to do that. So either you can wait for the city clerk to do that quickly, she's opening madly, or we could go on to, pardon? We got 4 noes. So at this point, with 4 no votes, the council does not have the ability to move to adopt, and the matter is closed. We move on.
Well, who ran that campaign?
So it is appropriate now to move on to PH3.
Well, thank you. That's what we'll do.
No speaker cards.
We need a new consultant, you know that?
Did you open the public hearing on PH3, Mr. Mayor?
No,
I
I'm
didn't.
opening it now.
I thought you were.
Public hearing on item PH3 is now open. Any cards?
No speaker cards.
Let's waive the staff report. Is there, I'll close the public hearing, and is there a motion?
I'll move we adopt Resolution 26-071A.
Is there a second?
I second.
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously. Council reports. We have the Rotary Club presentation, and we have the CCW.
Guys, we're here with Mayor R. Rex Paris, who just gave a presentation on a leadership to the Rotary Club. Mayor Paris, you talked a lot about your own experience. You had 3 different principles. What are you hoping the Rotarians take away from that?
You know, this is a group you want to talk to because they're doers. You know, they want to do something for the community. And I think what keeps people from doing a lot of things is just we're such a polarized nation. You know, and I'm hoping what they get is decide what you want to accomplish, articulate it, and go do it. You know, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what other people think. If you know it's the right thing, do it. You know, it's really that was the intent of the presentation. I grew up in Lancaster, and Rotary was one of those few organizations that was the power source, that was the power center. And that's still true to a certain extent. You know, there's just multiple more because our population has grown so big. But back then, you know, if you weren't in Rotary, you were out. You know, I was out. Yeah, they did blackball me. The next one. Today is a long time coming. You guys went through the training program. You demonstrated you have the right character for it. And people have a right to be safe. They have a right to be secure. They have a right to go wherever they want to go without fear. In 2 years, we'll look at the statistics. We'll see how successful the program is. But any adult in the city of Lancaster that's willing to go through the training, willing to make certain that they have a gun safe at home, make certain that we know you know how to handle the gun appropriately, should be able to have one and should be able to carry a concealed weapon anywhere you go in the state of California. You know, one of those guys, it was the first time I met him, Mark Skeeter. He has 7 Emmys. 7, you know, and he's just a guy living in Lancaster, never met him before, and he volunteers both for the CHP and the sheriffs. Sometimes I wonder just how many remarkable people live in this city that we're not even aware of. But to do 7 Emmys, wow. I was really honored to meet him. The CCW permit process is up and running. It doesn't take you a year to get one. It doesn't take you a month to get. How long does it take?
With the full investigation, sir, we're projecting about 4 months.
4 months? Well, I guess that's better than the years it takes in the county, but nonetheless.
Yes, sir, and that involves a background investigation, them getting their qualifications and a few other things.
Okay, great, thank you. You know, we do have computers to, never mind. City manager, have any announcements?
A few. So Parks Department has a lot of things going on. The first is the Poppy Festival. Tickets are on sale. So get your tickets for that event now. It was also voted, and it's kind of an exciting announcement, the 10 best flower festivals by USA Today. So I think that's a big deal for the Poppy Festival, and that's kudos to what Sonia and Sonia's team has been doing with that festival and building it up. Community Engagement Workshop this Saturday, February 21st, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Owens Memorial Park. Come let us know what you want to see or where you want to see our Parks Department going, and they would love to hear from the community, so come on out. And then spring camp is back, March 23rd to 27th, so that's those spring break dates. You can go to our website and sign your kiddos up for that. As always, there's probably a lot of fun activities there for the kids to do. And then Juneteenth, we kicked off the planning for that, and we are ramping up and getting ready for June when we host that annual event. The last thing I wanted to touch on today was we recently did, and the entire executive team, we did a breakfast both honoring exceptional employees and also employees with a lot of years of service. And I want to point that one out in particular because we had 41 employees that were getting awards for either 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 35 years of service. There were 12 that got 20 years of service this past year, 2 25, and 1 35 year. I think that says something about us and what we do, so thank you to them. And that's it for mine.
Wow, that's longer than me, Marvin, and Ken have been on the council.
Not quite Ken. Do we have any flower arrangements that the mayor can get involved in at the Poppy Festival?
Marvin is trying to make fun of me, I think. I have a new hobby.
I think it worked.
My wife took me to a flower arranging class, and for some reason, I embraced it. And at least a couple times a week, I go buy a bunch of flowers, and I'm developing flower arranging techniques. And I was actually going to bring one, but I had an interview I had to do, and it just didn't work, that I was really very proud of. So I hope we do have a contest.
So my question is still out there, Sonia.
I know I can arrange flowers better than anybody on this dais, but
We will gladly put you to work. We can use some flower arrangements in our Life Urban Parks, so.
it's surprising.
How hard is it to arrange flowers?
It's hard. Who else here does it? It's hard, isn't it? It's not easy.
Can you explain the difficulty to me?
Sure.
Okay, I got it.
We should also have a rudeness contest. I was thinking about it though today, and it might just be a reflection of how my personality has changed over the years, in that I know it's ephemeral. It's only going to last at the best a week, right? And it's going to be beautiful, but it's only going to last a week. And I like that part of it because I get to do it again. And I think that, that's sort of reflective of a lot of things in our life. Let them go so it makes room for doing it again, doing it better, At least that's my new philosophy in life. And it also interesting. It's a lot better than watching television. Yeah, it really is. But I know how weird it sounds.
Thank you for coming to Rex and Marvin's TED Talk.
So, Sonia, let's have a contest. All right?
We'll put one together for the Poppy Festival.
Terrific. And I learned a lot of things, too. You don't buy flowers from Costco on Friday. You buy them on Monday. I mean, they're fresh. They're terrible on Friday.
I learned you don't buy flowers from Costco.
No, they got a great selection. They really do. They got a great selection. But, they push them to the last day.
And also shop local.
That's right.
That is why we don't buy them at Costco.
What's next
On
on the
Monday.
agenda?
We support our local flowers.
Do you see how hard it is to be mayor? Do you see the abuse you have to take? Do you see the weight you have to carry? You guys should appreciate me more. All right. City Clerk.
This is a time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each unless a different time limit is announced. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Thank you. So Daryl, do you want to be first or last?
I can be last.
Okay. Fran, you get to be first.
How did we even go first if we said last? How did we even go first if we said last?
Don't want to hit you. Is that good?
Well, good afternoon. Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Chris, council members, well, I was gonna say Lauren and Ken, and also staff, and ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fran Sarasaris, and I'm very proud to live and be in Lancaster. I just have a few little questions. First of all, I want to say thank you to our Lancaster Police Department, and thank you to our Lancaster, Sheriff's Department for what they do for all of us and keep us safe, and how they're progressing in doing that progress of keeping us safe. A lot of people don't realize it, and as far as like, we're talking about neighborhood watch, I've done neighborhood watches before, but I watch in my little blocks, I'm neighborhood watch. I watch all day long if I'm home. The thing of it is, people are afraid. You don't have to go out and walk the block. Just look out your window, and if you see something, like the saying, go say something. Don't be afraid to call the sheriff or our police department. Just say, something's not right, something's fishy here. Can you check it out? And then they'll come and check it out. At least you'll have that comfort of, that follow through. And if you feel that they're not following through, call them the next day and ask them if they checked it out. I also was concerned about, they talked about that house that had the growing marijuana, for being blunt. But I was getting concerned about, how about the houses around the neighbors and the right around that house alone? Are they affected in any way by the smell or the fumes of what's growing there? Does that affect them at all? And I know you can't answer me that right, but
Only if
just,
the house burns down.
only if the house burns down? Okay. So, okay, I would follow through with something with that, but I wasn't that. But anyway, that was concerning me. And then also, this is directed to our vice mayor's office. I'm trying to, I know I read it and I read it and I read it over and over, trying to figure out how it's going to work. Could you simplify it a little bit more, how that position's going to work later on, because you're going to have your own office, right? Because you said you're not going to be running, but you're not going to be running for an office.
Well, we voted the districting part down.
Right. So how?
We're not doing that as far as districts anymore. If we did go to districts, it was proposed that there would be a at-large, meaning from the entire city would vote for the mayor and the vice mayor.
Oh, okay.
So there would be 2 people that would be voted in from the entire city, and then 5 would be voted in for the districts.
Oh, okay, okay, that's what I couldn't understand. I mean, what do I know? I just try to read and learn by reading, and what I hope to penetrate some thoughts in there. But I want to thank you all very, very much. And, well, there again, you guys are doing great things. And the people here in Lancaster should be more appreciative and work towards helping all of you do your jobs. Because without us on the background, you know, it's almost a job that can't be done with the rest of the public backing you up in one way or another. And hopefully in a good way, because we need you. We need you and you need us. But more than ever, we need you for this vast amount of people that live here. Thank you very much, and God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you, Fran. Lou Walker. Welcome.
Greetings, Mayor Paris, and I'm sorry I don't have my glasses, so I recognize you by your hat.
You don't like my hat? I love my hat.
I just said I recognize you by it.
It'd look better if it had flowers on it though, right?
Listen, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm going to have fun the rest of my life. That's all there is to it. And I have more fun in the hat.
Okay, okay, well, I'm Lou Walker, Minute One. It's been a while since I've, you know, sat in on a council meeting, but I try to do my rounds with Palmdale, with the school districts, with the board supervisors in different counties within California. But I do want to use my Minute One to share how I became involved in advocacy. Now, I guess I'm telling my age. 20 years ago, I remember taking a state exam. I think it was for alcohol and beverage control agent. And with state exams, you take, you get a score, and then on top of that score, depending on your military background, you get veterans points. And I remember I scored high enough to be automatically placed in rank 1, and I often beat out different veterans points. But I remember during the exam, at the break, half of the people didn't even bother coming back. So my perk was the math. Anytime there was math on an exam, automatically that gave me that edge. And so I came out here working for the Department of Veterans Affairs. I commuted for a while, and then I started teaching at Challenger when it was open. And so a lot of my advocacy began with the needs of the veterans. And then what I witnessed on my days off, I used to substitute teach at Challenger. And I saw, I didn't understand it at the time because my focus wasn't education. My strengths stemmed from the creative arts. I was intended to go into architecture, engineering, that kind of field, but I got 1 minute left. I'm gonna wrap it up as much as I can. I started looking to the education in the Antelope Valley, and everything that I normally hear at the council meetings and the crime statistics, a lot of it has to do with literacy. You know, you wanna look at it from a micro level or a macro level. To really change things, you have to look at the education system. And so I'm actually part of the Juneteenth planning. I was one of the original planners. And we weren't really looking for a big celebration. A lot of people just learned about Juneteenth, which has gone on for over 100 years. And there's a certain level to cultural programming that has to anchor to community impact. So it's not just a festival, it's an opportunity for education and implementation. And so what your planner just got from me, I put it in an email, so you guys get this, because I'm running out of minutes.
You got more time, go ahead.
Okay, great. But I'll make it quick because you guys do have a meeting that's open to the community. I did want to share it here first before I share it with them. But I have the pleasure of working with amazing mentors, amazing colleagues, amazing partners And I've done enough work to get attention and support in the Antelope Valley. And I wanted to start with the cities of Palmdale and Lancaster first, Palmcaster or whatever. But just changing a shift in priorities and how we can remedy the issues of the Antelope Valley with crime or with, I was looking at the agenda, I didn't see too much, unless it's in closed session, about the water issues here. But we can equip the community members to want to improve themselves and their knowledge base on how to create solutions, collective solutions. And my approach, now that I've done enough listening, done enough research, I'm still a researcher, I'm still an analyst, but coming up with plausible solutions to these problems through effective programming. And so I do want to revisit this. I just want to introduce it tonight, or this afternoon. But I'm confident that it's something that's, and I'm hopeful that the City of Lancaster would love to be a part of our regional partnership that we're creating to have effective solutions. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Larissa, make sure somebody meets with her and see what we can do to help, okay? Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Doris. Oh, Bishop Doris, I'm sorry. So are you going to rise to being a cardinal soon?
That's Catholic, and I'm Pentecostal, so I was blessed to become a bishop within my fellowship, and I do oversee some great men and women of God, and I'm blessed to do that. I got up first to, believe it or not, thank a great man. Many people don't appreciate leadership until after it's gone. My father, church never got past 100. But when he passed away at the age of 53, he had over 1,200 people at his funeral. And it's a sad thing that when people leave, more folks show up to your funeral than when you are alive. Before Marvin Chris leaves, I want to say personally how much I appreciate you. When I became deputy mayor in 2017, me and him didn't see a lot eye to eye. I think that's how me and you started off. And it's because of perception. Many times you perceive things one way, and then when you get into the nicks and crannies of how things really operate, you begin to appreciate how hard this job is. And so Marvin Chris, I want to say thank you for being a great mentor. Thank you for all that you have done for this city. I know that you're not running again. And many people don't realize, even in COVID, the things that me and you did together as a councilman, you really helped not just the city. And I know you hate when I say this, but the minority pastors, you really came through for them when they didn't have the cameras and the computers, and many of their churches would have shut down, in ways you found to help out. I want to say thank you for that. To the fellow councilman Ken and Rex, all the fights that we had and the fun that we had running this city. I mean, we came in really rough during COVID. And so I really appreciate all that you do. It's easy to complain, but it's hard to get in and take the reins. And Lauren, which what you're doing now, and the next generation that's coming in, I'm praying for you guys. I want to say thank you to Trolise, because many times I call the city, and I'm one of those ones, Rex, my wife drives this fancy car, and she has tore up many of tires on the roads, especially after torrential rains. And every time I've called Trolise, especially on Avenue K, between 50th and 40th, it was major craters. And I want to say less than 24 hours, the street team, they came and filled it in, and thank you, because that saved my pocket and my car. I appreciate it. Them tires are $400 a pop, and I'm praying that she learns to ride a bicycle. I'm blaming her. I don't know, I got 30 seconds. I want to say thank you to Chief Amlin. He brought the LAPD, Lord have mercy, Lancaster Police Department to come meet our ministry, and we're a predominantly African-American church. We do have other races there, but we're predominantly African-American. And you know the rift sometimes between African-Americans and police. And I must say, we don't have that at our church. We love the Lancaster Police Department. We love the Sheriff Department. And to see you bring some of the officers in there, and our kids see them, and they came by, and we're in a rough area. We're in one of those pockets We're in between Cedar and Beach, and it's rough over there. But in the darkest areas where you shine the light can shine the brightest. And while we have done our part to impart Jesus, I want to thank you for bringing in the sheriffs and the police department to come and help that area know that the city cares. And it's not just an area that we don't think about. So thank you for that. Last but not least, Mayor, thank you because a young lady just said something, and I don't know if you want me to say this yet, but we presented a parenting class to you, and it looks like it's moving forward, and I want to appreciate Trelise for that. We're trying to teach younger people how to be responsible with their children, and in doing that, we shouldn't drop off our children in preschool and pick them up in the 12th grade. And so we are engaged with our church and other CBOs and AV, I believe it's AV Health. I don't know why. Antelope Valley Partners for Health. They're partnering with us and, AVPH. And we're doing some training on how to train single parents on how to be better parents and get their kids involved in their homework and keeping them flow. We do know that if you're involved with your child, that less crime will happen. So I want to thank the council. Thank you for all of you. I don't know how many more you are going to stay on, how long you're going to stay on, Mayor Paris, how long you're going to stay on, Ken Mann, but thank you for the bottom of my heart for the 20-so years that you guys have put into this city. We can see it, and I see the negative comments on Facebook. I see what happened, but I served, and I know how hard it is to serve and be in leadership roles. So we are praying for you at Remnant Church. We are praying for you in our new preschool. We are praying for you, and so we want you to know that we got your back and we love you. And any others that's coming in new, we're praying for them also. All right, that's all I had to say, and God bless.
Thank you. I miss you, Daryl.
Yes.
Well, sometimes I miss you.
Ditto.
I'm going to wait for your funeral.
Wow.
Thank you. That concludes the speaker cards. Something I want you guys to start thinking about is what I thought was going to be presented was we're getting a rise in these predatory law firms that use nonprofits as a front to slow down projects, to file suit against the cities, file suit against the developers, and then they extort the money out of them. You know, we had one project where huge project, and they ended up paying 50 cents a foot to these predatory law firms. We saw it with the ACLU. You know, the ACLU used to have a purpose. Now they make money. You know, they defended that lawsuit, wrote one motion, probably took them 3 hours and billed over $150,000. I don't know what to do about it, but I'm thinking this, Allison, so pay attention. What if we got a fund from the developers and we fought every one of these suits? Because I guarantee you, these guys have never been inside, never been in front of a jury. And they'd literally wet themselves if we took them to the mat.
Well, unfortunately, the suits they file are writs of mandate, which means they're before the judicial officer, and they're not jury trials.
So let's fight it.
Okay.
Let's get a fund from these developers and we'll fight it.
So the developers.
Every single one of them, let them know if they come to Lancaster and pull that. I mean, they're just criminals. That's all they are. They're just thieves.
So the developers already defend and indemnify us on the challenges to their approvals. So they pay the costs of those suits.
Then let's find the most vicious law firm we can come up with, and just fight like. I hate thieves, and especially ones that use their law license to do that. I'm ashamed of them. It embarrasses me, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Let's say, not in Lancaster. We do not tolerate criminal behavior in Lancaster.
Understood.
Thank you. Let's have a plan in place. How long do you need?
to have a plan in place. The developers are already paying for the defense, so it's in place now. That is a condition of approval for all of our developments. So it's already done.
Great, let's do it.
I'm really fast.
Okay, thank you. That'll make me feel better.
That's right, Alice.
I missed what you said. Must have been good.
I said I'm really fast.
Oh,
You asked me
are.
how long I needed, and I said I was really fast.
That's true, you are. All right. City manage, where am I at? No, we did that. We adjourn now. I hope you enjoyed coming. I hope you enjoyed the show. We tried to be as entertaining as we could be. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 24, 2026 at 1:30 p.m. And this meeting is adjourned.